Have you ever been so desperate that you ignored the signs, telling yourself, "It's fine," just to get what you need? Jess had. She never imagined that one bad decision would lead her straight into the nightmare that waited behind those walls. Jess had nowhere to go. Her rent was overdue, and her job had just fired her. So, when she got the call from her estranged aunt offering her the house for free, she didn't hesitate. It was a place to stay, but she soon realized it wasn't just a house, it was a prison. Have you ever walked into a place and felt wrong? That's what Jess felt when she stepped inside. The air was thick, the silence deafening. The house felt alive, as if it was watching her. The first night was quiet, too quiet. Jess spent hours pacing, trying to shake the feeling that something was wrong. She kept hearing whispers, faint at first, like a breeze through the walls. She tried to ignore them, but they got louder. The whispers weren't just random sounds, they were calling to her. At first, Jess thought it was just the wind, the house settling, but the voices were too clear, too deliberate. "Come closer," it seemed to say. "We know you're here." Imagine being alone in a house, hearing voices, but no one else is there. Would you stay? Would you ignore it? Or would you run? Jess stayed. She thought, "It's just my mind playing tricks." But was it? What would you do? That night, Jess saw something that froze her blood. A shadow. No, not a shadow. A figure. It appeared at the end of the hall, tall and distorted. She blinked, and it was gone. But the feeling remained. It wasn't a trick. She walked down the hallway to investigate, every step echoing through the empty house. The whispering grew louder as she approached the source. Was it coming from behind the walls? As Jess touched the wall, she felt something cold, unnatural. The whispers reached a crescendo, now frantic, urgent. They were no longer whispers. They were commands. "Come closer. You're one of us now." Suddenly, the wall in front of her began to shake. The floor beneath her feet creaked and groaned. Jess stumbled back, her heart racing. And then, from within the walls, she heard it. A low growl. A voice that didn't belong to any living thing. The wall cracked open, and Jess couldn't move. She had to see what was inside. The growling grew louder, more intense, and then she saw it. A hidden room, but there was something in it. Something alive, and it was waiting for her. What was it? Was it human? The eyes were the only thing visible, glowing a deep, unnatural red. Jess couldn't breathe. She wanted to scream, but she couldn't. She wanted to run, but her legs wouldn't move. In that moment, Jess realized the house wasn't just alive, it was hunting her. The walls, the whispers, the growls, all of it had been leading up to this moment. She was trapped, just like everyone else before her. As the figure stepped into the light, Jess screamed. The face was familiar. It was her aunt. But her aunt was long gone, wasn't she? What had she become? And who else was in the walls waiting for Jess? If you think Jess made it out, you're wrong. The house got to her, just like it got to everyone else who thought they could escape. But it's not over. Do you think the house is done? If you want to hear what happens next, and if you've ever heard strange whispers in your own walls, maybe it's time to leave. Tell us your story in the comments. But beware, something might be listening.